Hey guys, welcome back to Fleetyards. I am Captain Foley.
And I am Commander Cockings, and we are going a long time ago, far, far away, to bring something right now that we haven't done yet, so it's brand new. So it's brand new
Right.
but old, and it's not blue, but the
But
model is borrowed.
yeah, exactly. And before we actually tell you what it is, although you already know because you clicked the thumbnail, we're just going to give you. I'm going to give you an explanation of what Fleetyards mission briefing is. Mission briefings, we take a first look at a ship, we kind of break it down with our knowledge of sci-fi and tech, and we try to, figure out what things are, how it works, and just get a good look at a ship. Now, there's so many diverse sci-fi franchises out there, so much great content, great ships. We love this part of our job because there's so much cool stuff out there to look at. It's always something new on Fleetyards, different franchises and stuff. So today, as he said, he's kind of gave it away. We're going to Star Warsville, the Star Wars corner of the galaxy, or the other galaxy that's far, far away. I don't even know. But anyway, we're going there. We're going to talk about something from Star Wars.
Yes, the Arc 170 Starfighter, and you know its real name, because I only ever knew it as the Arc 170.
I never even knew it as the Arc 170. I didn't care enough to actually find out what this thing was called, so...
Oh, but I love the Arc 170 name. It's cool. It's called the Aggressive Reconnaissance 170 Starfighter. So
Reconnaissance Starfighter, cool.
Aggressively speaking. Yes, and to note, we love doing new renders at Trekyards and Fleetyards to try and get some, if we can, canon stuff. And this is the, not necessarily canon, but official model from Battlefront 2, so it is what they made for a very new game, which with high standards, based on the best reference they were given by everything Star Wars. So it's accurate, as legitimate as we can get, and scaled to the size they said. So, Stuart, I guess start with then your first thoughts. What do you remember about Revenge of the Sith, first scene, boom, 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 things flying, this thing appears, takes center stage, and blows up a few minutes later. What was your first thoughts?
I was like, damn, that is not as sexy as an X-Wing. That's exactly what I remember thinking.
Okay.
I can see it's designed probably by the same company. It's got some design elements that definitely make it a precursor to the X-Wing or a different model line altogether. But you can see components there that are similar. It is kind of neat looking. It kind of has some World War II fighter properties about it. And it does set it in an earlier time. So it's all right. It's just nothing that I was ever eager to learn about. But it is interesting for sure.
Yeah, I kind of always liked it as like a big brother feeling X-Wing. Like they're clearly stylistically trying to hearken to that. But it's clearly bigger, clearly more robust, clearly less maneuverable. So it's kind of like, this is our first crack at an X thing. It's really just there to have the artistic look. It has wings that go whoop. That's why it's there. There's not too much reason for that beyond heat sinks. But no, I always quite liked the design. I thought it was a neat looking ship, good from a lot of angles. Seemed quite powerful in the movie, although it's just sort of cannon fodder really.
Yeah. I mean, well, you say that. I mean, heat sinks, that's the only purpose, but I don't see that. I see, something that helps with aerodynamic capabilities in atmosphere, things like that.
Yes, I have the book next to me because I'm trying to be more informative in this one. That's why I call out heat sinks, because it says heat sinks.
Well, yeah, okay, that's cool. The real reason for it, which makes sense. But it could help with maneuvering and stuff in an atmosphere, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, because these things are designed for every type of warfare, which is a nice thing. And then, although we can assume these are Kaminoans, those guys, they designed it, because that's the point, they designed all of the tech stuff. They're very multi-purpose. They did the cloning, they bred the cloning, they designed all the ships and weapons, and then they destroyed the galaxy. Very, very useful guys. Yeah. Well, considering that they have such long necks, it surprises me that they designed this, because they obviously didn't intend for themselves to fly it. But I think they're more the technical engineers of the galaxy. Kaminoans aren't expendable. So,
right.
Stuart, as we always do, we like to look at scale, because it's not just about, in context, the idea of the ship in the universe. We see how big it is in the movie, great. But compared to other ships, other universes, other time periods, stuff that you only see here on Fleetyards. So what do you think? Guesstimate for me the scale of this ship compared to what you see, and compared to an X-Wing or other sci-fi things. What do you think?
Well, based on this first picture and the canopy, the cockpit, I can tell you that this is probably shorter than an X-wing. Well, actually, there's 2 seats, so maybe not. Anyway, it's got roughly the same length as an X-wing, but I think it's a lot wider. Those wings look a lot wider than an X-wing, so not much bigger than an X-wing, but a little bit.
Well, go to the next picture. And there it is there, and a little bit less big than I thought it was going to be in final scale. The scale actually is 14.5 meters. That kind of gives you an indication. And obviously, we love comparing to non Star Wars things, but yeah, X-wing is just sort of the bigger, lankier Big Brother, fatter Big Brother. Like it's, you can see how they just refined it all the way down to the most minimal part of it for an X-wing. But actually, the top view you can see stylistic. Like the engines are very similar actually. Just then simplified, you know?
Yeah, and it looks like this one has, like I said, a co-pilot or something, possibly for navigation, whereas the X-Wing replaced that altogether with an astromech droid for navigation. Now, looking at this top view, I can see what looks like maybe another seat at the back, like a rear gun turret. Does it in fact have one?
It does indeed.
Okay, see, I didn't know that until now, so...
It goes pew-pew from multiple directions.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in more detail in a minute.
I mean, does this make you think of it as small compared to the Falcon? Because the Falcon is not really very big. It's not. It's big, but it's not tremendously big. It's the biggest thing here, but now you compare the two. Does it make the Falcon look big, small, or the Ark look big or small?
Makes the Ark look bigger, being like it's more on par with the Falcon than an X-wing per se. The X-wing's a lot lankier, like you said. So. Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little bit bigger, so I'm kind of like, oh, it's a bit small. And obviously, compare it to other things like the Raptors, the Vipers, the Mark 7s, and even the TIE Fighters. You know, it shows how the era is sort of streamlined. And the Runabout still looks pretty darn big. That'd be a funny fight. Just that would be.
The Runabout versus the Falcon.
Well. Yes. But as we know, Stuart, other scales can determine. So take us into the next picture and say what you think.
Oh wow. Yeah, quite a bit of bulk on the side view there. Wow. Not substantially bigger than an X-wing, but enough that it's noticeable for sure. Yeah, well, you got, like, as you said, 3 people in there. It's a three-person fighter as opposed to a 1-person X-wing. So
yeah,
it's very interesting.
But it really isn't as big as you think. I think, like, it's surprisingly on par with an X-wing. There's more design choice there than I think I gave them credit for, of having it just be a bit different, because there isn't that many years in between. There's just literally one person's life. You know, the Luke Skywalker from 0 to 18 or however old he was. That's it. You know, so there isn't too much difference. And yeah, compared to sci-fi, I mean, it makes other things look a little bigger. Shows how efficient the Raptor is. I mean, we always comment how small and absolutely sort of cramped but super efficient the Raptor is. Get a lot of buck out of that, you know, when you put missiles and stuff on it. But yeah.
All right, so the next picture is a shot, artist rendering of it firing, which is cool to see them in action. I love seeing the dramatic shots with like weapons and exhaust fumes and stuff. It's really cool. And plus an amazing background.
Now that looks, and it looks like it has 2 sets of cannons, but actually that's not. It's a targeting rangefinder is the top barrel, and then the weapon is blaster laser at the bottom. So it's not. I would kind of, if it was me, I would kind of put like longer range guns on the bottom, and then maybe like a quicker pulse fire on the top. So you sort of switch fire. Do you have the close range, or if you have the technology, if you have the ability.
Well, that's like a lot of World War II fighters. They had different size cannons in the wingtips, so 50 calibers, and then the smaller ones for closer. So yeah.
I think this is obviously an earlier, more concept-y, because the neck, the bottom bit underneath the neck looks thicker. The whole thing has a bit more of a weight to it.
Yeah, it does look a little different for sure. All right, so the next shot is one from the movie, I assume.
I was trying to find a shot of it, but it moves a lot. This is the best shot I could find.
Oh well, it's really good. The background blurry in this one, so that's fine. It's moving.
And you can see the dude, and that is very much a World War cannon looking thing. Like it looks super. It's literally just a cannon they're just stuck on the back. Dorsal tail cannon. That's what they call it.
Nice, nice. Well, another thing that makes, I keep saying World War II fighters, but there's a lot that really draws my attention to that in this shape overall. But one of the things that really does it for me is those rounded wingtips, very similar to a lot of World War II fighters. So I think that's one of the reasons that it really pops out for me. So
yeah, I like that. And did you notice there is actually an R2 unit in the middle of it all?
Oh, there is too.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with an R2. But let's look at it from some other views. So the next picture is a top back, and you can see this one hasn't got the gun for some reason. I guess it was a separate piece of the model. But you can see how big roughly the person is. You can see some lovely detailing, bit of wear and tear. I like it. I think it's a good looking ship and sort of smooth but not quite. You know, it's got that more refined aesthetic of the pre-imperial stuff, because they were at a time of not necessarily peace, given this was built for war, but they had the resources to build things neater. And then you get to X-Wings, Y-Wings, it's just like, we have not got the money to put plates on them to hide the Greeblies. You know, it's a much smoother sort of craft.
Yeah, one of the things I find interesting is the placement of the astromech droid, how it's sideways in this one, not not the other way like R2-D2 is in the X-Wing. So yeah, that's kind of neat. Yeah. Well, the next picture is a shot from underneath from the back, and I'm not a fan of those heat sinks being open. I'd like to see it with them closed, you know, and see. Then I think it'd be much more of a fighter feel for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of detail per se, but it looks really cool. I'm just looking for landing gear. I mean, there's black spots on the bottom that could be where the gear come out, front and back, but
honestly, I get the feeling they just land on the guns.
That seems kind of silly, though. I don't know.
Make strong guns.
Yeah.
No, I like the fact that the neck, the underbit, really does harken to the Republic gunship. How that all flares out. You know, I think you could easily evolve this into a carrier as well. I mean, how cool would that be to put that entire zone into being a cargo bit as well? Okay, it looked like a big chunky, you know, craft, but you could easily meld those two designs and make something even more functional.
Absolutely, yeah.
But the next picture, now a lot of these pictures I just want to show sort of it looking different views.
Yeah.
This next one, again, I think this has a really nice swooping feel. You know, it feels good, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know how I've been saying World War II fighter? As soon as I see it from this view, I get more modern military drone. That front head shape is very much like the drones they use in the military these days. So this seems like just an advanced version of a modern military drone now, instead of a harken back to the World War II thing. So that's very interesting. That one view can change your perception that dramatically. So,
which is why there's all these views. Speaking of next view, nice little close up. You can see some details better. Now, have you been seeing that little bit in the nose of the head? The entire, you know, the car. Can you guess what that is? Because I've got it right here.
I don't know, but if you painted eyes above it, it looks like a mouth going. But
yep.
Yeah.
Or an alien from Alien.
Oh, yes. Does it have a gun that shoots out, and when it fires, it does this? That'd be cool.
That would be very cool.
But that's not what it is.
No,
what is it?
No. It's very high tech. What do you think the highest techest thing could be to put there?
A thermometer.
You're very close.
Am I really?
It's the headlight.
Ah, yes. Cool. You gotta wonder. You know, I know the Falcon has headlights, and they kind of come in useful in Empire Strikes Back when they go into the monster thing. Yeah. But you know, how often would you be using headlights on a ship? I mean, you see them lit up all the time. They look cool, but are they really helpful? How far can those beams of light actually travel and help you see anything? If you're in a cave and stuff, I get it, kind of, but still, with the speed you're moving, it's
probably also for like attacking ground units at night, so you can.
So you have something that they can shoot at because they can see your light. That's an awesome idea. Look, here comes the lights. Shoot them. I mean, turn off your lights. They can't hit you because they can't see you in the sky.
Yeah, I guess it's right. I mean, the modern day fighters have headlights.
They have landing lights. They have a light that pops on when they land. It's usually attached to the front landing gear, so that you can see the runway as you get closer. And that's might be what it's for when it's coming in for an approach.
Maybe.
So
maybe.
But next picture is a shot of that BFG, and it is a big BFG. I love the way it flares out at the tip like that. So there's a lot of muzzle flash, likely when it fires. So yeah, that's very cool.
Oh, it muzzle can internally tilt the beam a few degrees off axis to precisely aim. So it's got an internalized motor at the tip.
Huh.
I mean,
so you mean the tip of the gun can
I think
move to target? That's kind of
pivot a little bit, yeah. Well, for more precise little,
Yeah.
Why not? But next picture is a picture of the back. Again, I like these angles, these curves. It's you're right, very rounded. The ship is not a vicious, pointy. It's not a Star Destroyer. It's not a TIE Interceptor. It's harkens to the other age. I really like the art design from this sort of stuff. And it's it feels a little more soft, but Death from Above doesn't need to be aggressive. It just needs very powerful cannons.
Well, it says in the name it's in aggressive reconnaissance. I mean, reconnaissance is for taking pictures of enemy territory and stuff. So it's what it's designed for, but it's got the ability to bite back should it get attacked from. Yeah, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it's designed for both intense battles and longer deep space missions. Makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
Now, the next picture is something that we like to show here. The beautiful internal diagram picture, which kind of reveals everything, or at least just is interesting, because what on earth do these doodads do? Well, they're engine doodads, and they're blaster doodads, and they're doodads. But it looks really cool.
Doodads, yeah, it does. I'm just zooming in and taking a quick look here. And
while you do, let me say a couple of other little facts on the wiki. So it's got a class 1.5 hyperdrive, so it is fully FTL capable. Maximum atmospheric speed is 1,050 kilometers per hour. It has 2 medium laser cannons, 2 aft laser cannons, proton torpedo launchers, always important. One pilot, co-pilot, tail gunner, astromech. Has the S-foil system, which is the X-wing style, and it was manufactured by Incom.
Incom, same guys that did the X-wing. Yeah,
and Subpro.
Subpro, cool.
It's all designed by Ryan Church.
Really?
Yeah, the Arc 170 was named after the Art 170, the title of the artwork form by concept artist Ryan Church that inspired the finalized design. Originally, it was referred to simply as the Clone Fighter, and the script rendered the Sith.
Wow! In case you guys don't know, Ryan Church is the guy that designed the Enterprise for the 2009 Star Trek film. So definitely somebody that's big in the industry. So that's really cool to see that. So I did not know that. So there you go. So I even learned something new during these. Well, we do all the time actually. But anyway, now hopefully you guys will learn something new too. Yeah, so the last picture is the first picture. It's the classic 3/4 view, and I gotta say, I'm more impressed with it. I still think it's ugly, but
ugly, actually ugly, or just not sleek? Seriously, aesthetic is so important, but I think it does genuinely look quite nice.
There's something about the wing shapes. If the back was flat, or it was shaped a little differently, I think I might like it more. But it's just with those center parts up, the heat sinks, they look like ironing boards. They just or surfboards. They don't really look aggressive enough to me. They look very cheesy and chintzy and like something that I don't know.
Yeah, it does have its own unique feel, for better or for worse. Like I say, it's not an aggressive looking ship. It's I think it does look fast, but like clunky fast.
Yeah, it almost looks like a dragonfly with those multiple wings like that. I think that's another thing that I'm seeing too. So,
well, I mean, the fact that there's such a nose, head front bit. I mean, there's a beast feel to it. The wings, the outstretched arm. It's got a sort of feel of that. I quite like it. But there you go, guys. A look at what I thought was a more famous ship, but Stuart barely knew anything about it. And that's good, because we learn stuff here and gets these cool renders and cool scale. And thank you, Battlefront, for the making such an awesome model that we can look at and dissect, because it's their job to be accurate, and therefore we can critique. But Stuart, how can people support us if they want to see more epic things from Star Wars, Stargate, Battlestar, Firefly, Farscape, Dragon Ball Z? I was trying to say Babylon 5. I said Dragon Ball Z instead. Well, it's close.
I was just about to say, if you guys want to see more vehicles from, canonized games and things like that in greater detail, this is the place to do it. And if you want to help us out, you can head on over to Patreon/Trekyards, or click the link in the description below, and that you can help us out on a monthly basis. And we get some fantastic models, all thanks to Samuel, and the views he gives us are fantastic. And like we've said, we learn a lot ourselves doing this, and we love sharing that knowledge with you guys. So if you can help us out that way, head on over to Patreon, or head on over to trekyards.com. You can click the donate button and help us, give us a one-time donation. That helps out as well. It all goes towards the show and producing all this content that we do for you guys, which is quite a bit of content. So how can they get involved with the content, Samuel?
Well, I mean, the free way, the way you can just, pop by, say hi, say hello, the free way is by joining the Facebook page. We have a great community, Trekyards, or Facebook/Trekyards as a group, and a page. Join both. Or Fleetyards, that's also important, because this is most of the Fleetyards show. Old habit, guys, old habits. Yes. But yeah, join the community, say hi, look at these cool designs. Every day we're getting great new things and posting great new things on this YouTube channel, so do subscribe to this. It's free, it's great, good new stuff, a whole plethora of things, and some great stuff coming up soon. We have some great plans. And make sure to click that subscribe button, that bell notification, all the good things, and tune in for next week, next Fleetyards. Yes. Say goodbye, Stuart.
Goodbye, Stuart.
Goodbye, Stuart.
Until next time, I'm Captain Foley.
I'm Commander Coggins. Bye, guys.
See you guys soon. Bye-bye.